Coming up, the first test passenger to space.
The last original Mustang.
First solo twice. AOPA Live this week begins in just a moment.
There are many important things to consider before purchasing an aircraft. Let the experts at Aerospace Reports help guide you through the process. We combine expert knowledge with our long-standing commitment to personalized customer service to perfect your transaction. Learn more at aerospacereports.com.
This is AOPA Live This Week with Tom Haynes and Melissa Rudinger.
Take your protein pills and put your helmet on. Virgin Galactic is flying passengers to space.
Beth Moses is the first non-pilot passenger to fly on the commercial space line. Moses is an astronaut trainer for the company. The video of the flight is pretty dramatic. Unity is carried aloft by White Knight 2 to about 45,000 feet. It drops, then the rocket ignites. The craft reaches Mach 3 on the way to black skies and then returns as a glider. Talk about an engine-out landing.
Some landing indeed. Come Monday, you have just 10 months. 10 months to install ADS-B Out in your airplane if you plan to continue flying in airspace where you now need a transponder.
Now, if you fly below 10,000 feet in just North and South Dakota and Wyoming, well, you don't have to have ADS-B Out. There's no so-called rural airspace in those states, but it exists everywhere else. Now, maybe you think you're never going to fly in Class Bravo around a big airport, but did you think about the Mode C Veil? It goes all the way to the ground for 30 miles out from a Class B airport. You'll need ADS-B Out to fly there.
And there are some other good reasons for getting ADS-B Out.
So ADS-B Out, depending on your operation, makes a lot of sense. Say, for example, flight following. With air traffic control, it makes you more visible. Also for traffic separation, if you want to be visible on TIS-B in areas outside of radar coverage, just for other aircraft, other pilots, it makes sense to equip.
Another reason to consider ADS-B Out, it covers a much larger area than radar, and ATC can track you from shortly after takeoff to touchdown, even if you land off airports.
So ADS-B has also been used for search and rescue. Because it is GPS-based, it is highly accurate. And in many cases, the ELT may not go off, or it may run out of power, may be damaged in the crash. ADS-B is a very good solution and is being used by search and rescue crews all over the world now because of that high accuracy.
And now a couple of pieces of good news about ADS-B equipment. First, the costs have come down.
There are now solutions, several solutions below $2,000. There are more expensive solutions. Of course, it just depends on what type of system your aircraft has. It might already have WAAS GPS, it may not. So I would suggest use AOPA's ADS-B selector tool and find the solution that works best for your aircraft.
And here's another bit of good news. The feds still have some money to help you install ADS-B Out.
There are still 4,000 rebates available, and the rebate program ends on October 11th.
You can find out more about the rebate on the FAA's website. Boy, this really is a revolution, the ADS-B.
It is. Traffic and weather in the cockpit, having displaying on multiple devices is really helpful, as you and I have experienced recently in a couple of flights.
Indeed. And even if you aren't going to fly in rural airspace, I think there really is a good argument to be made for having it. And plus, you know, for less than $2,000 now, you can install it.
Right.
So.
Yeah. That is a big step forward from an air traffic control standpoint, for sure.
Well, if you can believe it, BasicMed is almost 2 years old. Some 45,000 of you are back flying thanks to BasicMed, including me. Now, if you were an early adopter, a deadline is approaching. You need to take the online course every 2 years, so if you applied for BasicMed in May 2017, you have until May 31st to take the course again this year. Now, the AOPA course is available to everyone, whether you're a member or not. The medical exam has to be repeated every 48 months, and that's calculated to the day. Of course, everything you need to know about BasicMed is on our website. Just mouse over Pilot Resources, then click on BasicMed.
For sale by owner, the last unrestored P-51D Mustang in the world. It comes as a package deal with some 20 Rolls-Royce Merlin engines. It's the last pony in the stable of Mustangs Texas oilman Connie Edwards has. You may remember him from a story we did a few years ago.
Well, I'm not a collector. I mean, I think they've collected me. It's not a museum, it's not a collection, and and so if someone wants to go and see old airplanes, go over to the Commemorative Air Force or whatever, if they've still got any. Right. But someone don't need to come down here and think they're going to get a bargain. That's what I'm saying. I don't need these bargain hunters. Right.
Platinum Fighter Sales is brokering the deal. This Mustang last flew in 1983 as part of the Guatemalan Air Force. One Arizona teen is celebrating this week. Happy 16th birthday to Caden Urschel. You've probably seen him in clips like this one, flying a Citation M2 with his father, Scott.
But Caden has been training to kick Scott out of the right seat, and on his birthday, he soloed in an airplane and a helicopter. Bruce Hafner from ChopperGuy.com has the story.
On his birthday, Caden Urschel is doing what few people have done. He's soloing an airplane.
Solo traffic, Jim 25 minutes to Echo, turning final 17, solo traffic.
Now to most of us at 16, getting our driver's license was a big deal. But Caden wanted to fly an airplane without his instructor for the first time, solo, before heading off to the motor vehicle department.
Solo traffic, helicopter 744 Mike Echo, departing 17 for left traffic, solo traffic.
And check it out. After his airplane flight, he did this, soloed in a helicopter too.
You're looking good there. How's it feel there?
Good. Sir.
Now for Caden to learn the skills to fly both airplanes and helicopters, he had to have a special instructor, his dad.
Hey buddy, how does it feel to fly that by yourself today?
Feels great. I just feel like I have a lot of freedom, you know?
Boy, I never thought this day would come.
Me either. I honestly was never really nervous. Like, that initial getting in the helicopter, maybe a little bit, but once I was in the air, I felt great.
At a very young age, Caden had to fly with me in helicopters as I did ferry flights and delivery flights. So he developed this passion on his own. This is something that was his desire.
Solo traffic, helicopter 744 Mike Echo, turning left base 17, solo traffic.
When Caden was about 4.5 years old, his mother was diagnosed with leukemia, and she passed away in January of 2008. And I spent the last 10 years raising Caden, taking him to school, and doing different activities with him as a single parent, and he's been a real blessing.
My dad uses a great analogy, and especially for helicopters, it's like flying like a magic carpet, you know, because you have so much visibility, it's peaceful, and it's a lot of fun.
Oh, perfect. Grease that baby on the center line. On the center line. That's my boy. Okay, helicopters or airplane, what's your favorite?
Helicopters, for sure.
Now technically, I have no clue how many pilots have had a 16th birthday like Caden, but he passed all 3 tests, including parallel parking.
You're looking good, bud.
Thank you.
One last question. Do you have an angel flying with you?
Oh yeah, I got my mom with me all the time. Wherever I am, whatever I'm doing, she's with me.
Congratulations, Kate. I'm super proud of you today.
Thank you. Solo traffic, 25 minutes to Echo, turning left base 17, solo traffic. Solo traffic, 25 minutes to Echo, final 17, solo traffic.
All right, on the center line. That guy's better than you.
Wow, what a story. And thanks to Bruce Hafner of Chopper Guy for that story.
Yeah, amazing. And congratulations to Caden. That's quite an accomplishment. And to do it with all those cameras on board, I mean, it's scary enough to do it at just any given day, let alone with the world watching.
And amazing, you know, in a champ, in a tail dragger, and right on center line. I can't do that.
Right.
Well, coming up after the break, an attempt at breaking the inverted flat spin record.
And a drone helps nab a murder suspect. We'll be right back.
Thank you for being here to support Angel Flight West and the 5th annual Endeavor Awards.
The real heroes in this equation are the Angel Flight passengers.
Wow. See, I told you you'd love this.
Welcome back. It's a win for aviation that could have a big impact on a busy Florida airport. The FAA has ruled that Palm Beach County, Florida cannot ban jets at Lantana Airport. Now, it's been the policy there for decades, but a business jet pilot filed a Part 16 complaint against the airport after the county threatened him with legal penalties for 2 landings he made at the airport. The FAA said that the ban was against the airport grant assurance agreements.
It's a sign of the times. Police in Daytona Beach, Florida, using a drone to help nab a murder suspect. Cops were after 40-year-old Marcus Pinkney. They say he killed 1 person and shot 2 others. Now, it turns out they used a drone to scope out the hotel he was barricaded in before sending officers in for him. Daytona Beach PD works with Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University on developing their UAS programs. In fact, one of their officers happens to be an assistant professor there. And speaking of drones, the laws surrounding them at the state level continue to evolve. AOPA Legal Services Plant attorney Rachel McConney is helping other lawyers stay up to speed. Writing in a recent edition of SC Lawyer, she notes that drone operators have several legal remedies against anyone who shoots down their drone. As a reminder, it's not legal to shoot down any aircraft, and the FAA considers drones aircraft.
Yeah, drones are not skeet. Well, it's a record that will make your head spin, literally. You may remember Spencer Suderman. He's an aerobatic pilot who holds the record for most inverted flat spins, 98 turns set in 2016. Well, Spencer's back at it again. AOPA Associate Editor, Web Editor David Toulis has the story about Spencer's flight.
Last week, Guinness World Record holder Spencer Suderman took off out of Yuma, Arizona in an attempt to accomplish something incredible: break his own record and complete more than 100 inverted flat spins.
So I put together a new plane, Pitts S1 with a very powerful engine to drag it up to high altitude. I did every modification I could based on lessons learned from my last 2 attempts in 2 different airplanes. And I succeeded. My team and I succeeded in making an airplane that spins, oh my God, so fast.
The airplane spun so fast, Spencer encountered an issue he was not expecting.
It was so fast that some of the G-forces I was feeling made it hard for me to breathe. They were pushing on my chest. I finally knocked it off about 9,000 feet into the spin, or 14,000 feet above the ground. I just could not get air in my chest. So I did the safe thing. I knocked it off. Turns out I did 54 spins at 9,000 feet. That means if I had gone all the way down to my recovery altitude at 3,000 feet, I would have done about 125 turns. My goal was 120. So kudos to my team for building a great airplane.
Now that Spencer has an aircraft he feels capable of helping him set a new world record, he needs to figure out how to get enough oxygen while spinning so fast.
I think for next time, and yes, there's going to be a next time, I'm going to use a pressure demand type breathing system, which all you have to do is, start sucking on a little bit, and it sort of forces the air in. They're very common in commercial aviation. They're used in private jets. They're the emergency oxygen system. And I think this will be the edge I need to stay physiologically with the airplane.
He hopes his record-breaking flights will serve as an inspiration to get others, and especially young people, excited about aviation.
I make a lot of videos. I love to share my passion through video. The joke is, Spencer's going flying, there's probably more cameras on the airplane than the plane weighs. And that's true. And if you look at my YouTube channel or my Facebook page, there's a lot of videos from all different perspectives. I think it's a great way to get people excited, to show them what's possible. Share it visually. And I think that's a way to get people engaged and make them want to try aviation using modern technology.
This is David Toulis, AOPA Live.
To hear the rest of the interview with Spencer, along with some other great pilot stories, you can check out the Hangar Talk podcast on our website.
Whew. Well, Spencer, you're welcome to have that record. I am not going to challenge.
Yeah, no flat spins for me. Well, and before we go, a correction to a story we aired last week. We told you about Willie Wilson, a candidate for Chicago mayor, who wants to reopen Meigs Field. Well, one of the images that we showed you was incorrect. We had one shot of Burke Lakefront in Cleveland, but this was Chicago's Meigs Field before Mayor Daley destroyed it. And we said Willie Wilson was a Republican. Although he's been endorsed by the Young Republicans, Mr. Wilson is a Democrat. Unfortunately, he didn't get enough votes to advance to the final election, and we regret our errors. Well, that's our program for this edition. We hope you'll let us know what you think.
Send us an email. Our address is aopalive@aopa.org. See you next Thursday.
Purchasing your own aircraft is an exciting experience. AOPA Finance simplifies the process, saving you money with lower interest rates and hassle-free loans, so you get into your new aircraft sooner. AOPA Finance, the right approach to buying an aircraft.